I had the pleasure of meeting this gentleman and his beautiful family. His son's sitting right here, Ben. Is your sister here too as well? She is. Hello, how are you? This guy is a businessman. He's a family man. He's a leader. He gives, and gives. When we had a Northeast regional rally, I called Michael, and I said, Michael, could you come and speak with us and teach us about AI? And without hesitation, he is there. Weather was pretty bad. They weren't going to make it on time on that day, and they chartered a plane to get to Massachusetts. This is a man who does what he says and says what he does. Michael Weisman, come on up.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. February 20th, 1962. John Glenn is aboard Friendship 7. He's taking off to be the first American to orbit the Earth. Takes off, it's going to last about 4 or 5 hours, and in that time he'll do 3 orbits. Towards the end of his first orbit, he has a problem. The automatic controls fail. John Glenn needs to take control of manually to finish out the mission. Meanwhile, back on the ground in mission control, there's a warning light flashing, a red light, indicating a potential heat shield failure. Pretty serious if you're going to re-enter the Earth from outer space. They decide it's best not to tell John Glenn about the potential heat shield. You may have seen the movie, been a couple of them made. They figure he's got enough to worry about because manually piloting that spaceship back down, John Glenn will have a 2-degree margin of error as he enters the Earth's atmosphere. 2 degrees too wide, hits the atmosphere, bounces off, potentially not able to return. 2 degrees too steep, comes in too hot, potentially burning off with or without the heat shield. So we know how it ends. He completes the mission, but a 2-degree change of course, tremendous differences on the outcome. This man says he's going to colonize Mars, right? 20 years he's saying it. He now says by 2029, the first unmanned flight will leave from Mars, the first uncrewed flight. So when Elon's ship leaves the Earth's atmosphere, a deviation of 1/10 of 1 degree will make the difference between a successful encounter and landing on Mars or a miss of about 100,000 kilometers. It's about 1 centimeter. Very small changes now, huge changes in the future. So this man's been spoken about a lot on stage today, so I know I'm probably in the right room. And he talks about this 2-millimeter shift, right? A 2-millimeter shift in our thinking, a 2-millimeter shift in our actions, right? Compounded over time has a huge effect, right, on massive, massive results, right? 2 millimeters is not a big amount, right? Could 2 millimeters be life or death? I think there's at least one person in the last few weeks in the public space walking around that kind of thinks that way, right? And maybe the whole fate of the country, but it's a big difference. So I want to spend just a couple minutes now to tell you some 2-millimeter shifts I see coming in our space, and maybe some little shifts that we can take as well. So NAR settlement. It's been brought up a couple of times on stage. And as I follow on the forums, and maybe you guys too, on the Facebook groups, it tends to range from one extreme of like, no big deal. Look, buyer's got to buy, seller's got to sell, money's in the transaction, buyer brings the money, it will work out. To the other extreme, major disruption. What am I going to do for work in 6 months? How are buyers going to buy? Right? This huge spectrum. So without going into that specifically, I do know that 1 2-millimeter shift is coming, and it's going to come from the buyer, right? All of us now that work with buyers are going to start getting asked a question that we've essentially never been asked in about ever, 20, 25 years. What's the question the buyers will start asking us that we haven't been asked? Yeah, what do we charge? Right? What do you charge? Right? And your ability to answer that question and articulate your value, and cost is always a component of value, will very much determine whether you are one of the ones that thrives or just tries to survive. That 2mm shift, that one question among the so many questions that we get asked. And it's even going to be on the easy phone calls, so to speak, quote unquote. The sign calls where they're calling our number, maybe a Zillow, or they're actually finding a home on our website from one of our boosts. They're going to have that conversation, right? And it's going to go something like this. You'll get a buyer calling and say, I'd like to see this home at, 1 Wild Turkey Way. And someone caught that, right? And you'll say, sure, how does next Sunday sound? Say, perfect, Sunday, 2 o'clock sounds great. You'll go through the pre-qualifications a little bit, and then as you hang up, they're going to say, oh, by the way, what do you charge? And here's what I know. Almost no matter how you answer it, and you're going to have a good answer when you do meet with them, but they're going to say, okay, that sounds great. I'll call you right back. Okay? Because why? What are they going to do now, right? Now, they're in front of a computer. They found the home on Zillow. They found the home. They know the home. They know this estimate. They know what they want. They're going to now want to go find a place to search and find 2 or 3 other realtors to check their cost, their value. What website are they going to search for a realtor in any town, city, or state? Google, yeah. So we heard Real Greater talk about it, right? Your online presence. So they're going to Google. So, and let me just tell you the importance of this. So that's a search I did in Winslow, Maine. So we're in the top 3 on the maps. There's a trust factor here. Google has been the last 4.5 years been building out their local search ecosystem, their local services. It's multiple different platforms. Not enough time today to go into each of them. However, they have one overarching objective, which is to become the most trusted platform, the most trusted source when a consumer looks for a local service in their market. That includes doctors, lawyers, real estate, right? We're in there. And so if you're not getting found and getting calls, I promise you someone else is. Those of you that have seen my son and I, Ben, who's here, who speak, we know that we're huge proponents of this Google thing. And if you want a quick benchmark, just to kind of figure out if you're doing it if you're in the ballpark, here it is, right? And I'll make a bold statement. If you are not closing at least 1, maybe 2 deals a month directly off of calls from Google, you've got some room to improve. You've got some work to do. And I know this because we close about 30 to 40 deals a year in our local market in Maine off of Google. So you want to icon the easy way 3 times in a row? Get 30 calls off of Google. Now, it's a team, so it's about half of our production. But that kind of gets you about halfway there, right? So in about the last 12 months, 30 to 40 sides a year, that's consistent for the last 3.5, 4 years. These leads are people searching for a real estate agent in your local market. Okay? No one does that kind of a search because they're bored. No one wants to talk to an agent that badly. No one wants that kind of abuse. Okay? They want to talk to an agent, and they're going to do it more now because they want to know they have to shop for buyers' agents. Right? Real Greater pointed it out to us as well. We're going to a market now where people are going to start searching out and shopping for buyers' agents. Okay? So our leads, very quickly, we convert 10% of them from the very first phone call off this platform. Average days to close, 95 days. We get a 12x ROI. If I spend $1,000, we make 12,000 GCI. Last year, we spent 20 grand on our local service platform, 250 GCI. It's not bad, right? And we've now replicated that. My son, Ben, we manage about 120 different accounts. We've seen this now do as good or better. I had him pull quick stats. We had about 40 accounts he was able to access. Last 6 months, over 4,300 inbound calls from 40 different profiles. And we're closing at about 10%. Right? Would that help your business? Right? You need to be out there. This one screenshot here is we're ranking 1 and we're number 2. Chris, who I thought would be here, I tried to get him to come, he started at what, Ben, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Okay, Chris is in New Hampshire. I'm in Maine. He's on the border. He sent me 6 referrals this past week. I took the screenshot 2 days ago. 3 listings and 3 buyers. 2 of the listings are also a buy. So 8 pieces of business, and he sent us 6 of them because it's out of his area. So pretty cool. Here's what I also know about it. Let me pull this thread a little harder. The 2mm shift. Right now, we search on Google, we get results. All search is going to AI. Anybody here use the app called Perplexity? By any chance? A few people? Yeah, hands. It gives you intelligent responses. It reads the search results and speaks to you like a trusted friend or a consultant. Okay, if you want to see an example of this, go to Amazon, look at any product, and scroll above the reviews. It tells you what people like, what they didn't like. It saves you the time of reading 1,000 reviews. Google has already put out on their roadmap, they're doing this with local search. They're going to read your reviews, what your clients say, and they're going to read the content that you put onto your Google profiles. What we know about Google is they always look at their own platforms first. Remember, they want to become the most trusted platform. That's why it's so hard. They make it hard to get verified and make you go through hoops and get your license checked. And sometimes they don't let your reviews go through because they're determined to maintain that trust on that platform. Okay, so you need to be putting that. So small changes you can make today in getting reviews and optimizing your platforms, right? And you can speak with us. You can speak with a real grader, right? My son can help you with that. I've done this hundreds of times with thousands of hundreds of EXP agents, thousands of agents collectively. Okay, so here we are. We're back in space, right? This time it's your ship. Okay. Do we have any warning lights flashing around us right now? A few. How many of us are actually still on autopilot, maybe? A few of us, right? Or worse, how many of us are on autopilot and don't realize the autopilot has failed? Okay, so when we leave here today, we've heard amazing speakers, amazing content, ideas, strategies, things we can put into our business. So when we leave here today, go ahead and make that 1 degree shift in the trajectory of your business. That 1 degree shift in the trajectory of your life so that you can achieve with certainty the future of your dreams. Thank you.
All right.